Hi everyone, I'm MacKenzie with the Beaverton City Library, normally at Murray Shoals, but today I'm at home and I actually do toddler story time right now during COVID-19. I do it on Zoom, but normally I would do it at the Murray Shoals branch. And so I'm here to share some of my favorite books for toddlers and one or two reasons why I like them. So first off, I just want to say that whenever we're ready to come back into the library, one of the first things I do is I pull these books with this blue sticker that says Toddlers. That's just a way that I can grab books off the shelf and then start looking at them carefully to see if I think I would want to read them for story time. So this book is called Why the Face by Jean Julien. It says with fold-out pages. So this one's really fun because it says why the face. And you make the face. You might ask what kind of emotion do you feel? And then you see what kind of face it is. Like, ooh, this stinks. Or, this has two faces, a happy face and a black face. Because they have two different reactions to bugs, which is fantastic. Next I have this book by Jan Thomas, Let's Sing a Lullaby with the Brave Cowboy. Jan Thomas is really fantastic. She's one I go to pretty often for toddler story time. And this one you can actually sing aloud. If you go to Jan Thomas's website, she has a recording of how she sings it, but I've heard it sang a few different ways. And I have one more Jan Thomas book to share a little bit later. Speaking of books you can sing, this one is Row, Row, Row Your Boat by Jane Cabrera. She does a number of picture books based on nursery rhymes, but this one is one of my favorites. So you can sing these, you can do animal noises. It's really fun, and also if they're too long for your toddler, you can always skip pages because it's just the same verse, just with a different animal over and over again. Next, I have A Kiss Means I Love You by Catherine Madeline Allen, photographs by Eric Foutran. This is probably one of my favorite books that has photographs because it's participatory. That's always really great for toddlers. They're wiggly, they don't want to sit still, understandably. So anything that gets them to participate is fantastic. So this one they can pout, and you can shiver, and you can give a kiss. So it's really fantastic. You can do all these things with your kid. Speaking of moving around, Eric Carle's From Head to Toe. You can raise your shoulders like a buffalo. Wave your arms like a monkey. You can ask, where are these body parts, and point to them. So this one is a storytime favorite. Board books, we don't normally read these for storytime, especially something like this because it's so small. It doesn't lend well for a group read aloud. But if you're reading just with your one kid or a couple of kids on the couch, it's really wonderful. And this one is great. Whose Toes Are Those by Jabari Asim, because you can point at different body parts, like your toes. You can count them, you can tickle them, all sorts of things. At the library, I normally get a fair number of questions on where are some books with flaps. My kids really love flaps. So I really like this series by Marie Torres Chimarusti, pictures by Stephanie Peterson. This one is Pika-Moo. There's also Pika-Zoo and Pika-Pet and a few others. And these ones are just, they've got really great flaps, really simple, they're really big, and they let you do animal noises, and you can play peekaboo with your kiddo, which is always really fun. If you're looking for a counting book, one of my favorites is One Family by George Shannon, pictures by Blanca Gomez. It's got all sorts of different families that you can point out. You can count all sorts of things. And then in the back of the book, and this is something I don't get to do during story time, but you can do at home with your kid, it has more things that you can go back and count on the different pages. My favorite Jan Thomas book is Everyone Ready for Fun. This one is so great because you can easily ham it up. And for toddlers who are extra wiggly, you've got these cows who dance back and forth and wiggle back and forth and jump up and down. And you can do all these things with your kid. Another board book I have is My Heart Fills with Happiness. I recently read this one on a Zoom toddler story time. It's by Monique Gray Smith, pictures by Julie Flett. And this one is really sweet. And you still get to participate because it asks, I see the face of someone I love. Can you point to the face of someone you love? I smell bannock bacon in the oven. What do we smell with? Our nose. I sing. You can sing a little song in the middle of the book. So this one's really fun and really sweet. Another classic I read for toddler storytime and other storytimes quite often, at least a few times a year, is Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Bill Martin Jr. and Eric Carle. You've probably read this book before, but my favorite thing to do with this book is to sing it to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Brown bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. And you can do animal noises with this one as well. Another book that has families, and this one has photographs, is Families by Shelly Rutner and Sheila and Kelly. And it's just, the photos are so crisp. There's so many photos, and it shows all different kinds of families. And you can point out what are some of the families in here that look like our family, or that look like our neighbor's family, or our friends' families. So this one is really, really lovely. And last but not least, I have Say Hello Like This by Mary Murphy. Mary Murphy is another really great picture book author. And this one is fun. It has some sort of like half pages that you can turn. So it's not quite like flips and flaps, but it's still pretty fun. And it has some different sounds that you can make with your kid. If you're tired of roaring like a lion and growling like a bear, you can do a dog hello, and it's not woof woof, it's bow wow. And it's got a frog hello is jumpy and croaky. It's not ribbit, it's croakity croak. So that is Say Hello Like This by Mary Murphy. Thank you all for listening and watching, and I hope that you found a new book to read with your toddler. Thanks, everyone.